Yeah, I really enjoyed that film, and the game. Of course, I love the Black Cauldron game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I liked the whole concept of the do button, and I just really feel kind of bad in a way. I thought that was a great film, and I really feel bad that it kind of bombed because I think it just didn't get its fair shake because it didn't have the cutesy characters and songs that other Disney films had. But that's just me.
And part of it also that's very true. But part of it also was the Disney studios were in turmoil. When I went there for that day that I mentioned to you just now, the studio lot it looked abandoned. I mean, it was just kind of empty. There was not really any action. Nobody was walking around or doing anything. And it was after Walt died. His brother took over and did okay. He was all right, but he just didn't have the vision that you needed to run a big company like that. And so the company was in trouble. And then shortly after, he hired Michael Eisner as a new CEO, and he turned the place around because I went back to do. There was a film called Big Business. Is that right?
I think so.
It was Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin, I think, were the two stars of it. So they wanted me to go to do a game on that film. But more than that, it was the difference in attitude a year made, because when I went back, the lot was full. There were people everywhere. They were doing Down and Out in Beverly Hills and just all sorts of films were. And it was the difference between a dead remembrance and a real live, active studio. So it was quite a shock, quite a big difference between management. And I think that's what happened. Black Cauldron was the last of the old guard. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't have the same impact.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead to I guess what you would say your signature project and Leisure Suit Larry. Where did the inspiration for that come from?
Well, I played a lot I worked a lot of bars in my life, and at that time, you got to understand, back in there were guys like that. There were guys really like that. We had one at. Even in the 80s, we still had a guy was a Lothario, I guess you'd call it, at Sierra, one of those traveling salesmen. And so I thought it would be funny to make fun of those kind of guys, and that's how that whole thing came about. I never written a comedy. I didn't know how to write a comedy, but I was often funny, it seemed like. And I was always in entertainment. So when I was a school teacher, I saw my, hour that I had with my kids as I had to stay on top of them and, keep their attention focused and be in charge, and also be a little entertaining, or else. Remember, I taught an optional class. If kids didn't sign up for it, I didn't have a job. So I think I'd always been involved in entertainment and playing music and conducting musicals or whatever it was. So I thought, well, I think I could funny if I could try at least, and that's what I did. I thought it would be a time to make a funny game because there hadn't been any.
Oh, right, yeah. And that's one of the things I always wanted to compliment you on about. I played all of the Larry games, even the couple bad ones that you had no part of. But I always liked the fact that you knew how far to push the envelope and then to stop. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You didn't really go too far as to the point where I knew a lot of people who would actually didn't mind their kids playing the Larry games because they knew that, you would only go so far with some of the content as opposed to nowadays, like with Grand Theft Auto and things like that. So I always wanted to compliment you on that you pushed the envelope, but you didn't push it too far.
pushed it, but I didn't break it.
Right.
Yeah, I think part of that's because I have a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. When I was, remember, I worked alone, and so when I was writing those things, I would often yell in, "Hey, Margaret, what do you think? Can I get away with this?"
Mm-hmm.
And if she groaned, I'd go, "Okay, I guess I can get away with that." And if she screamed, I would say, "Okay, I guess not that. Okay, never mind." So I think a big part of that is that I didn't have a censor so much as I had a source of good taste.
Right.
And I think that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So did you ever suspect that Larry would develop the following it has? I mean, 30-some years
sure.
later.
Oh, of course. Everyone, when they have lightning in a bottle. When the game shipped, I did the best I could. That's all I did. And basically, to make it funny, my theory, my approach was, that might be fun. And that was the game development process, because I would somebody would change something in the interpreter and in the engine and give us a chance to do something different. Mm-hmm. And so I would say, "Oh, what could I do with that trick?" Mm-hmm. And I know I can make. When we had the ability to use the function keys on the keyboard, mm-hmm. I thought, function keys. What could I do with function keys that would be funny? Mm-hmm. And so I made bodily function keys, so that every time you pressed a key, you got a different sound effect. Just anything I could think of that I thought people might laugh at. Because you never know in an adventure game. You never know what people are going to find. You never know when they're going to find it.
Right.
The order things occur, and you don't know what things people will find funny. Right. And so I thought, well, my goal was just to add in as much as I possibly could, and maybe somebody would find something that was funny.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, each game was really unique. I liked how each one, had its own little quirks. It had its own, different style to it, I guess. Like, for instance, 2 was probably, I'd say, the most difficult and the longest of all the games. But then on the flip side, you have, Shape Up or Slip Out was a little more easier, but it was fun,
Well, good. Well, that was the whole idea. Mm-hmm. Two floppy disks. I mean, when I started designing that game, people were still playing off the floppy. Not everybody had hard drives. Mm-hmm. So I found it a real pain in the ass to keep shuffling floppy disks in and out, and particularly in Larry 1, even though it was only a 2-disc game. It was too large to fit in 360 kilobytes. Think of that.
Yep.
It took 2 360K discs to hold.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, now your watch has more memory,
Right.
But anyway, in that game you had to go back and forth a lot, and when you did, you some of the locations were on one disc. You were constantly flopping one in and out of the floppy disk drive, and that was a pain. So I remember. I wonder if I could set myself a goal, a game where you play an entire area at one time, and it all fits on one disc. Mm-hmm. And then when you're done with that, you go to the next one.
Right.
Well, that all worked out well. Mm-hmm. I was very happy and proud of myself with what I did there. The problem was I wasn't careful about making that you were safe to move on to the next disc, mm-hmm. Before letting you go there. So it had the wisdom of hindsight. I would have said, "Oh, wait, you can't leave Los Angeles and get on the cruise ship until you have everything you." Mm-hmm. I didn't do that. Instead, I let you leave without solving some of the puzzles, and that became a real source of irritation to players.
Oh yeah.
And I could have fixed it. I could have made it right, but I just didn't think of it. I just didn't center of my mind. I was very proud that I got it so that you could play one whole area before moving on.
Mhm.
You didn't have to change floppies. What I missed, you forgot the bikini top or something, and now you can't. You got to go back 2 discs. And but games were harder back.
Oh yeah.
We've been spoiled by how little thinking is necessary to play modern games.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to see some of these kids nowadays try to go back and play King's Quest or Police Quest. They would probably do like 10 minutes and say, forget this. Let's go play Grand Theft Auto
Yeah, this game's not playable.
Oh yeah. It's always nice to hear somebody that agrees with me on that, because I mean, I my daughter is a gamer too, and she's 13, and she'll play the old games with me sometimes, but she's also been raised with that. She grew up playing the old games, as opposed to some of her friends. Oh yeah, they would never be able to do it. They would just say, you know what, forget it. Let me just play the game on my phone. So, but
why don't all the hotspots light up and tell me to click them?
Exactly, right. Okay, so how about some of your later projects you did at Sierra? I mean, after, or between Larry games, I should say.
Well, Ken thought that it was best to not do a game every year, but rather to mix it up. And so Roberta would do a King's Quest, and then she would do something else. And then I would do a Larry, and then I would do something else. The something else's turned out a lot of fun. Freddy Pharkus, Frontier Pharmacist, was a hoot. And, and it's still a good game. People can download it now, if not for free. Certainly, it's possible to find it on the internet. But it's a challenging game. But it's so much better with the voice acting. If you can play it off a CD, it's so much disc-based game. Because we hired wonderful voice actors, and they let me direct them. So I what the lines were supposed to communicate. It turns out that a lot of games, the voice director doesn't really know the game. And the audio guy who does the voice recordings, and so they'll do various reads and hope they get it. But I knew, if you say it this way, they're going to think this, and it might mislead people. So say it like this other way, and this and that kind of stuff, and all that I think shone through in the voiceover, which I'm very proud of. I thought was a really job, and it got me a chance to work with many of Hollywood's greatest cartoon talents. We had a strong that game, particularly Neil Ross, the narrator, and Freddy was one of Ninja Turtles. I can't remember which one now that I said it. Michelangelo, I think. Anyway, the actor who does that role turned out to be Freddy Pharkus, and he had that wonderful kind of weird, phony bravado kind of voice, that really made the game silly, made it fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then I did Torrin, which was supposed to be the first of 5 games, set, and unfortunately, as by the time we were ready to make the next game, Sierra was already in its self-destruction mode, and crashing and burning around us. So it never got made. But I was sad he ended that game kind of on a cliffhanger, and I never got to finish the story because it was, I thought, a good story. My goal with that game was to do 5 games that followed this kid, through his life as king of this kingdom, ruler of this kingdom.
Right.
It didn't. I never got to do So it was a disappointment, but it was also watch Sierra go under because it was such a great place to work back in the 80s. We were so lucky to be at that place. I thought, and I mean, like everybody, we bitched and moaned and griped about the job and stuff. But God, years later, you look back on it and you go, "Wow, why didn't that last forever?" You know, you never know something, whether it's the best it's ever going to be or it's going to get better later. So,
So what exactly happened to Sierra?
well, they got stolen by a bunch of criminals.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I can say that because they were actually convicted and went to prison.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah. So that helps a little. But, Ken had the company stolen away from him in a hostile takeover. One of his board members said, I'll pay 50% more for shares of the company on the public stock exchange than it's selling for now. But I want control of the company. The problem was he didn't have the money to do that. And about a year or two later, the SEC came through and said, "Hey, what the hell? You can't do that." And but by then, the company was already in turmoil. I guess the whole story. The same morning that Walter Forbes put in this play for Sierra, he did the same thing for Davidson Software. Now, you and your viewers probably listeners don't know about Davidson Software, but it was Blizzard. It became Blizzard Software.
Okay.
And they had a certain amount of success, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
So basically he took over, he wrested control of two companies. Sierra and Blizzard both had a market capitalization of over $1 billion on the stock exchange at that time. Control of those, and within a couple years, just terrible things happened. 6 months after the buyout, after the takeover, they merged with another company, and company that became Cendant Software, Cendant, and Cendant. If you Google's Forbes and verdict, I think those 3 words would probably find the story for you.
Oh, okay.
Read more about it, but in essence what happened was the SEC said, you committed fraud on a massive scale, and we're going to find in the history of the United States, which they did.
Wow.
That's before Enron.
Right.
Enron. But if that's a record, I guess.
Right.
Anyway, but the Enron verdict was a lot higher. But anyway, so they took Forbes and his henchmen to court, and they got off the first time, but they I don't know if it was a mistrial or a hung jury or what happened, but anyway, that the SEC said, "By God, we're going to try you again. We're going to go through it again." And so the second time, I guess they got a better jury, and they convicted them. And he and his buddies all went to federal penitentiary, where I hope they spent their lifetime smashing big rocks into little ones.
Dang.
But